think that I just come in there and look for knockouts, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who want to fight with me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter beat me.
My goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. Man, we got our boxing pretty much out the way earlier today. Somebody got their heart broke, man. Good fight, man. Good fight. Man, that's why these guys gotta fight the fights. You can't count nobody out. So this show really was inspired by Johnny Allison. You know, he had hit me up on the post that I put out when I was saying, hey man, I was doubting old Figueroa, man. He was one of them guys that get hit the most in the sport of boxing at one point in time, him and Navarrete. So I'm just like, that don't, when you fight good competition, it's almost like the Sabril thing in that style. It's like they'll take three to get one, and like, you know, the higher the competition and depending on the style and how hard these guys hit, you know, you can't have that style. So plus, for the most part, I'll be leaning toward the champ. Most of the time when you got to unseat the champ, you know, and you consider hometown advantage and momentum, all that good stuff, up and down fighters, you know what I'm saying? People who perform, you know, under the big bright lights, some people who don't when they don't have an opponent that they respect. All those good things. Cookie Monster say, mic check, 1 2 1 2, sounding awesome. I appreciate that. Mic check. I need that. But I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait around and see if Johnny Allison is out there. If you are, there is the link. It was a good afternoon of boxing, though. No, nice little card. I watched the prelims. I watched all them fights. And, you know, wasn't too bad. But I'm going to go ahead and get into the housekeeping. And we'll play it like that. Look. I've been trying to wait and see if there was really any truth to this first one. With Jahad Tucker possibly facing Yoenli Hernandez. Now, I know those are two guys, they're not on the beaten path. Those are guys that's going to come up. Those are guys that have done some things. Jahad won me some bread with the Trunk Simpson fight. Yoenli Taylor's. He I think his last fight, I gotta check to see if he had any more after that, but his last fight that I recall was with Kyron Davis. And I seen something. I seen some people reporting that they were negotiating and trying to work some things out, and I was like, man, I like, is that real? Now I believe it on both of the fighters' ends. I do. But I think this is we're getting benefited by last year in the constipation of boxing. Yeah. Jahad fought Lorenzo Truck Simpson on in the summertime, June the 21st. But he got a lot of good names. The only person that put a blemish on his record was Nicholas Flaws. I think he was down at welterweight. And he just lost that by a majority decision. That's, so we seen what Nick Flaws went on to do. He went on to be the man at pro boxing. Tiger just kind of put a screeching halt to that. So he got some rebuilding to do. But Jahad Tucker, if I was going to describe him, one day I was, speaking on Jahad, and I said, man, I had got done watching one of them Top Rank cards, and Tim Bradley, he's just always just talking about Jahad's form and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, man, just evaluate the fight. Everybody's not going to have the perfect form and all that. Like, everybody will box the same. Like, he got his own little. And I said, imagine if Tim Bradley would have had to be a commentator for the great Emmanuel Augustus. He would have been critiquing how, untechnical that punch was, and you can't get away with it. Like, even though, like, if you go back to some things that Mike Tyson used to do, if you go back to some things that Roy Jones used to do, even if you look at some things that Floyd used to do, there's certain people that can do things that as a rule in boxing, you don't do. But when they have that kind of athleticism, they can get away, because they can impose their will and get away with things that the average boxer can't do. So everybody's not going to have the same, style. It could be two pure boxers, but they're pure boxers, but they don't punch the same. They don't, some people got a different delivery system, but we know stylistically they are, pure boxers, like a Richardson Hitchens, like a Devin, like a Shakur, those kind of fighters, pure boxing type fighters. All look different when they deliver their stuff. Some things, there's some similarity somewhere, somehow, sometimes, but all different. So Jahad's one of them guys that he kind of got like a frenetic side. Like, he got a rhythm. Like, you let him get his feet moving, he'll be moving from side to side, in and out, ambushing, just he moves a lot. Do a lot of unawkward. It ain't quite Drunken Master, but he do a lot of elusive things, and he got his own little style, but he's about that smoke. He was on the Boxing Voice a while ago, did an interview, and you got to see more of his personality. But I think his whole thing was just opportunity. I think he was calling out Xander at one point in time. Xander was that guy that they was getting behind. They was really pushing, so I think they kind of, matched him tough, matched him rough. He did move up to 47. He moved up from 47 though and jumped all the way up to 60. And he did it early. On the job training. He didn't wait, suck himself down. He just said, nah, I'm gonna get up there and get busy. So when the time is right, I've been getting punched by these dudes. I've been punching on these dudes. I'm good at my weight class. I'm telling you, I'm seasoned in my weight class. So I think Jahad, because of his frenetic style and his rhythm and how he punched, and Jahad could be knocking out at least 30 to 40% more if he just sometimes just settle down a little bit and sit down on that shit. Like, man, he do be catching people though. He'll surprise you. He showed out with Truck. I don't think that fight was that close. Of course, Truck had his moments, but I think Truck, he was coming down from a higher weight. I don't think he was in tip-top shape. I don't know. Not to make any excuses, because I actually picked Jahad to win that fight based on those things, but that was something that everybody always wanted to see. But we got this guy, Yoeli Hernandez, who came on the scene. And his name been ringing some bells. Now, he hasn't been fighting that many times. I mean, he popped out on PBC, and that's the first time I really knew who he was and what he was all about. And when I saw him, I was like, how they got Mario and Wario? I was saying that, man, he like the evil LeBron. He looked like a lot like LeBron James, especially when LeBron was younger. He just looked like the mean version of LeBron. But he's they saying he on his way. He did have a fight after Chiron. That was a unanimous decision, but that was getting brutal, man. That was Chiron took some shots in that one that I was like, whoa. But he did get busy back in October. You know, he's a Cuban Orthodox fighter. He's 6'2", 88%, 88.89 knockout ratio. He's pretty much 8 out of 9 people, you know what I'm saying, didn't make it. And as you can see, Chiron Davis got that UD, but that came with a lot of punishment. And Chiron to get in there with anybody, that's Breadman fighter. But that's Jahai and Yoenli. Now, that's just the rumblings out here. That's just, I've been seeing people post it, and I'm like, okay, gotta verify this, gotta verify that. But I'm like, man, I hope the boxing guys ain't playing with me, because I like that for both of them fighters. We'll get to see real quick if Yoenli just been, you know, just been on the rise and just been better than everybody, because Jahai's gonna be a test. Now, if he go in there and do something crazy to Jahai, that's gonna say a lot. And Jahai get in there with anybody. So early crossroads fight that, you know, is gonna be fireworks on that one. It's gonna be a lot of action up in that one. The second one is, and salute to AC who came in the building. Salute AC.
Salute, bro.
Well, I'm just going through the housekeeping. Johnny Allison requested this joint. He wanted to talk about the Ball and Figueroa fight, and I guess he had some stuff on his mind. He said go live, so I had to put something together and go live. I wasn't, but I said, hell, I mean, I'll do it. So that's what this one is about, but I'm just going through the housekeeping. The second one is, do we take Devin serious about Core and Key? Because, you know, I kind of leaned up off of Devin a little bit. I said, I came out and did something a couple weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, and I said, you know, 147 been whack ever since Earl left. And after then, everybody was saying, yeah, 147 at this, because they're kind of moving crazy. But it's getting ready to, the scales about to change, because there's going to be an influx of the 40s. Now, you know, 40 is the road, but that's where everybody playing hopscotch. And since they won't really like mix it up, they starting to. We got three big names between Gary Antoine, Richardson Hitchens, and Frank Martin, all fighting on the same card in a couple weeks. So it's people that's playing hopscotch from 40. They 2 feet down at 35. They taking 1 foot down at 40, and then they hopping up, and they trying to go to 47. So the tides are getting ready to turn. Now, I kind of laid up off Devin a little bit, and I said, okay, he got a little more respect for me because of what he did inside of the ring with Brian Gunn. I didn't see that coming. He made me eat crow. So I said, yeah, I got to give Devin respect on that. I mean, I didn't see him making Norman put his hands in his pockets at any point in time. And he dropped him. You know, then he played keep away for the rest of the fight. That's Devin's style. I said, man, you be trying to please these people, whatever. You're a pure boxer. Keep doing that, blah, blah, blah. You got your knockdown. I mean, for what you bring to the table, I couldn't ask for more than that. So I kind of laid up off of him. I said, I ain't going to be doing too much content, because I still question the moves and who he's looking at. And I'm thinking, man, listen, man, Boots looking for a fight. You looking for a fight. You know you should be up there at 54 anyway. Just make that happen. But I'm a dreamer. But he came out and he said that he want Shakur, Big Bro, and Little Bro, with Little Bro being first. And Keyshawn had sold everybody on the fact that he was going to go get Devin Haney. And then he came out with the remix saying that Lewis Crocker, he got to get that to make that a unification. I guess behind closed doors, I don't know. I guess they got something worked out, and that's the path. Eddie wasn't acting like he wanted to give Lewis Crocker to Devin Haney. Devin Haney tried Rolly first. Then he spent around and he went for Lewis Clark. I was like, man, that's whack. Like 47 is whack because now it's just you're not going to give none of these other guys. Like Brian Norman gave Devin an opportunity. Now, yeah, that was a put in the wall. Brian Norman didn't have to do that. That's why, like, when we get down to Nick Ball, I mean, I think that that might have been his. I don't know. But these like they got to make the fights and give people opportunities, and it was noble for Brian Norman to do that so early. And give but you got to give the opportunity. So like I'll be looking for some people like at 47, like some killers who, give back an opportunity. Yeah, try to get some unification, but also like give somebody a chance. Don't just wait and let the mandatory thing drag out because look at Giasov. He on his 3rd generation inherited mandatory. Nobody fight that man. So I'm questioning whether or not we can trust Devin at this point because I've seen the pattern years ago where he'll call out a big name and then fight a smaller name. Call out a big name, fight a small. So I kind of got used to it. I'm wondering now, do we believe Devin, man? Are we going to get him versus, because him versus Shakur seem like it's spicing up. Him versus Keyshawn, it seemed like a necessary evil. But if Keyshawn's saying he got to go get Lewis Crocker, but then Devin saying he's more jaw-jacking with Shakur, I'm more likely to believe that maybe if he says something to piss Shakur off or whatever, act like he got the willingness, Shakur is going to jump through that window. I'm not sure. I don't know who to believe. That's the second one. The last one, man, before we go ahead and cook is don't be a knee-jerk reactionist. I mean, some of my thumbnails, and I don't even do what these other people do. Like you might find somebody in drag. I don't emasculate or effeminate nobody. I rarely even put somebody being down on the canvas, but I might make a little comical type thumbnail. Man, please, like it's like doing a review online or Reddit or wherever you go, and you're giving a critique on a meal that you never ate. You can't look at a thumbnail and read a title and then just assume and then be bold enough to comment. So you got more energy to comment in somebody's shit than you do to actually watch what they got going on. Like, I'm not going to disrespect you, but I'm not going to really entertain you either. If you don't take time to frequent something, you can't do a review on it. If you haven't tasted the food, don't review the meal. It's just simple and plain. But you'll be a knee-jerk reaction because you're in your emotions and you see a title and you think that we're going somewhere. And there's proof in most of the videos. I use Boxer's words, I use articles, I use several episodes and proof, pictures, images, whatever I need to support what I got going on. I don't just make up shit, and I'm not messy. So if you don't want to take time to sit down and taste the meal, don't do a review. Don't leave a comment. Just be like, this one ain't for me. And all of them ain't going to be for you. If you don't like Ridges and Hitches, when I do an episode on Ridges and Hitches, don't listen. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like Tank and I do an episode on Tank, just don't listen. Holler at me when I do something about somebody that you like T.O. or Shakur or Abdullah or, you know what I'm saying? It's easy. It's not for everybody. We're not trying to be the Breakfast Club of boxing and all that. I'm like the Lloyd Banks of this shit because at times I be wanting to walk away from the shit and I'll be okay with that shit. I just can't get away from this shit. It's boxing. So I'm going to talk about it. And I'm going to try not to be toxic, but I put time, effort, and energy into everything that I do on the channel. A perfectionist of some sorts, which may be a flaw. But I think that we always put something on the table to make you think, to challenge the norm, to go against, to be the alternative to what everybody else is saying. Sometimes we do agree with what everybody else is saying. We just got a different approach or something that people not really connecting. That's all we do over here. So don't do a review. Don't leave a comment. Don't even holler at me if you ain't looked at the video. Just move on. Holler at me on the next one when it's something you like. That's all it is, man. What y'all feel about the Salute to Pop AC? What y'all how y'all doing this evening, and what y'all think about the housekeeping?
I'm in a pretty much agreement, Jahai. If that fight goes through, that might be some stuff. As far as Devin and Shakur and stuff like that, it could be some meat on the bone there. I would probably think him and Keyshawn would happen realistically. I don't see Bill in any way, shape, form, or fashion agreeing to any sort of rehydration clause on Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I don't give a fuck who you think you are. You just said, and Bill gonna scream on him like, you said size don't matter, skills that pay the bill. So why is you asking for this? So that, that gets a little weird. As to the knee-jerk reactions, for some channels, I have to admit I see some things that just look so egregious that I'm just like, at first I say to myself, I'm just gonna ignore this shit because the way you wrote this doesn't seem as though you watched the same fight I saw, or you're just trying to troll, or you may be, a only fan of this person or that particular fighter, or whatever the case may be. And I'll just leave it at that. And then when I see that same information kind of showing up on several different thumbnails from different legit content creators, not AI slop, then I'll go check it out and see what the hell they're saying. And sometimes it's surprising that, okay, so you just kind of clickbait because you dropped some jewels, and the only way you can get people to actually look at this shit is you had to say something or do something egregious and shit like that. Okay, I get it, but the clickbait shit is still not cool. And that's where I'll leave it.
Okay, cool. What's going on, Pop?
It's boom.
Huh?
This boom.
Oh, boom. Oh, I don't even know why. What's going on, boom?
Man, not shit, man. What's up with y'all?
Just chilling, man. Just Johnny Allison wanted me to do he wanted me to do something on this whole thing right here, because this man, he went behind enemy lines and
yeah, that was crazy. I just got to watch it.
Yeah, like broke homie down, man, and put him out.
Word.
So it was like, I didn't see that because Brandon Figueroa, man, he got that Jared Hurd, or that Sabril Matias type style where he just get touched too much. And I'm like, man, you be fighting some decent people, so you can't afford to be getting touched like that. But he caught him with one of them sweet science punches, man. When you get hit to the body and you know, boom, you get hit to the liver, it takes time for that shit to travel up to your brain and tell you, hey, we got hit with some shit. When you in a position where you might be extending for a punch and your chin is already turned and somebody hits you with that motherfucking hook, like that torque right on the chin, and your shit go from like right to left in like 1.700,000 milliseconds, the signal only got to go from the chin where you got hit up to the brain, and it say, oh shit, we got to shut down. We just got hit with some shit. He got hit with one of them. Then the ref, he gave him what everybody said should have happened with Sabril when he got put down, even though I think that was cool. I was okay with that. I didn't want to see Sabril get clocked by Dalton or whatever. But the ref did the thing, man. He held his gloves, wiped his gloves, told him, hey, move here, you all right? He gave him a lot of time, man.
I felt like the ref was low-key trying to save the man.
Yeah, he gave him all that time to recover, man. And then Figueroa was like, fuck that shit. Boom, ping, pow, kung pao chicken. Motherfucker fell through the ropes. I was like, damn. I said, he ain't getting up.
That first knockdown where he was just laid out flat, not moving. It looked like he was just laying there for a good 8 seconds. You feel what I'm saying?
Hey, when he was out like that, it should have been over with.
Yeah, that's why I thought the ref was just gonna be like, nah, this is done, bro. You was literally unconscious. You feel what I'm saying? So you can kind of tell that something may happen. You know what I'm saying? As I was watching the fight, I had got the spoiler alert that, he got stopped, but I went back to actually watch the lead up to the stoppage and everything and stuff like that to see if it was a good fight. Was it not? He just got caught being reckless or something. Nick Ball had the master plan. I think if he would have just worked on different variations of that uppercut, because he was so short and so compact, he was just right in the middle and like bit, and you heard them shits. You feel what I'm saying? And I guess I I don't. I guess them little short chopping punches that Figueroa was doing, some of that body work, because Nick Ball will go into that high guard and he don't look like he got the longest arms, and he was just sweeping with shovel type punches, hitting them with the body when they would get whenever he was in range, and you heard him thudding punches when they would be in clinches and stuff like that, and he's punching down on his body. So he was creating a lot of torque. But that first shot, I was like, nah, this shit is done. When I seen him give him the chance, I was like, what? You gonna give him that chance? Okay. This shit ain't gonna go for another 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? And then he just, you know, put the beat down on him, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's impressive.
Yeah, man. I was watching it, and I had Nick Ball winning the odd number of rounds, and then I had him winning the 5th and the 6th. So that was the first round where he just didn't win the odd number of rounds. I was scoring it 1 Nick Ball, 2 to Figueroa, 3 Nick Ball, 4 to Figueroa, 5 Nick Ball, 6 Nick Ball, and then the fight started changing. But what happened was, you know, all of them guys I named that I'm comparing Figueroa with, the Herds, the Segrels. One thing about them, even David, but David is more educated with his punches, and he don't get hit that much. Exceptional head movement, but he still got that stalker, high volume punching style that'll just wear you down. In the 3rd round, Nick Ball mouth was open, he was gasping. I was like, man, this might be a tale of two halves. And he was, when he could deliver his punches, he was very like sharp at times, and that jab was just like, man, and you know, he did surprise him with that uppercut. He stopped throwing that uppercut because he kept getting caught throwing it. And and Nick Ball, he one of them guys where he's pretty athletic, but he's not as technical. Even though he can box, he just got them short arms, and his stature, so sometimes he got to go to that armadillo shit. And he don't know how to turn Figueroa. If he would have been able to like do what El Rayo did, El Rayo made an adjustment. He started turning. He was like, I ain't getting hit with that. Them wild punches, and when they just swinging, learn how to turn. And when they turn and when they coming in, if their defense ain't right, you can attack like that. It opened up windows. If he would have implemented that, he could have made the fight easier. But his gas tank got worn up, and the way that he punches, he put a lot of force into his punches. So when he get ready to get started, and Figueroa was just doing them short chompies, he was stomping them in the midst of his punch, and it's like a double impact because he going towards it, trying to land his punch, and Figueroa just meeting him with that shit at the same time with them short choppy shit. So he was busting them up over time. But I thought that Nick Ball was going to win. I said, man, they might have it like a draw, because I bet a draw. I was gonna put my bank card up there. I put down 10 to win back 180 because it was like a plus 1800. I say I'm gonna go with the draw, and right before the final round, both of the corners sound concerned. They both were saying that they needed it, you know. But I thought home cooking, it being Nick Ball, all the momentum. It's like if it's tight, they're gonna just default to Nick Ball. But I had it to draw, and then we was like, oh shit. I said, damn, like I seen that. I was like, whoa, and it was so quick. Yeah, I was like, man, he did his thing.
I don't mean to interrupt you. Wait, I'll let you finish.
No, I'm done.
Oh, okay. Nah, I didn't have it a draw. The amount of punches that were being thrown, like I gave the first, like maybe, I think I want to say like the first round, I kind of wanted to give it to Nick Ball, but I'm gonna just be real with y'all, man. I had a lot of my rounds going towards Brandon Figueroa, man. He just looked good from start to finish. The whole time that this fight was being made, I called and said, like, yo, I got Figueroa winning this bout. When I heard about it, I said Figueroa was going to win this bout. The height advantage, the reach. The only thing I didn't like about Figueroa was just the game plan, simply because you should not be fighting in the pocket with a guy that small. Use your reach, use your range, stick and move. once you start to use a little bit of range, you actually stop them. So again, that was my only real problem with him. Other than that, I mean, I like the fight. I like the card. The card was cool, little interesting card. But again, Figueroa, it's not no surprise to me. I felt like this is what you were supposed to do. Like I said, I seen little tiny ass, small baby ass Nick Ball and was like, yeah, this shit. This man looked like a fucking ant, So, he a little baby man. He a little guy. He a little pup. So, Brandon Figueroa is back in the mix. And we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Shushu. Just stop calling out anyway, man. Just focus on, your destiny and what you gonna do for right now. You just became champion. I would like to see you fight Angelo Leo or even Figueroa, just to see how you look against this top opposition. Other than that, the Shakur and Dev situation is really funny. It's really cool. I like the fight, but if it happens, I'm betting all my money on Kerr. Nothing personal, it's just business. I like the fight though, and I think it's a good idea. I think that it sells out. I think that it's the next like Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence type of magnitude. So, I build it to that level to say that's a great fight, and I hope Shakur can get that fight to show, he's levels above. But I hate that this little rehydration, all that stuff. Yeah, I heard that dumb shit too. But again, I like the talk of the fight, and we'll see what happens. Boxing is a crazy sport. A lot of shit can happen. Anything is possible. Anybody can be beat. Boxing is one of those sports, man. So again, one good fight card tonight. I liked it. Yeah, man, that's really all I got. Again, I did not have Nick Ball winning this fight, and to be real with you, the amount of punches that Figueroa was throwing, again, it was a lot of punches. So, yeah, I had Figueroa from start to finish about this fight. So, yeah, man.
Me, I was actually rooting for Nick Ball to win because I wanted to see him and Shushu get it on. So I was actually rooting for Nick Ball to win. Before the stoppage, I was like, I think, for me, I'm like, I think Nick Figueroa was winning, but I said the way they got this home cooking and everything that this dude does, this is reminding me so much of that Josh Kelly Merchazaliyev fight, to where Josh Kelly put one hand up, the crowd, ah! So, it only confirmed it at the end because the crowd got pissed. Nick Ball's corner got pissed because Figueroa was rightfully celebrating that he's a champion again. Dudes is all in the ring acting like they wanted to fight. The crowd started throwing shit in the ring. So it kind of gave me that confirmation. But I could see where Boom was seeing what he was seeing and stuff like that. But I was also saying to myself that when it came down to it, it always seemed as though Nick Ball was throwing the more significant punches, the punches that really mattered. What's the name was putting together like those little short chopping joints, and he would let Nick Ball come in and then throw like those little body shots and stuff like that. They was doing the, I got you behind the head, you got me behind the head, and we just gonna punch, uppercut, and overhands like that. So I was just like, okay. And then when I think it was towards the end of the 5th round, to me, I was like, I think Nick Ball is like really slowing down, and Figueroa, this could be his time, because by that time I had it damn near 1-1. You know what I'm saying? Like I had it even around the end of the 5th, because I like the significant punches that Nick Ball was landing, especially those uppercuts when he would throw them. But he wasn't giving different variations, like different foot placement to be able to throw him and mask him sometimes and shit like that. Because Figueroa seemed all too happy to want to close the distance, like fight in a distance that doesn't favor him. It favored Nick Ball. So I was just like, I don't know if you trying to do a freaking Lamont Roach Pitbull Cruz type of thing, but those uppercuts is, I don't know if this dude gives you variations of them shits. He might knock you stupid or get a TKO off you, but he found his sweet spot in distance and then started to slowly break him down and stuff like that until he got him to open up in exchanges that weren't to his favor. So when he got him to open up like that, you can really see him starting to unload the right type of shots. And the last thing I'm gonna land on is early on in the fight and throughout the fight, I don't know why. I don't know if it was a hook to the body or a hook to the head, or it's just his hooks in general. He kept on turning his head away when he would throw him, like that weird shit Canelo was doing when he was fighting William Skull. And I was like, if he keep that shit up, I think that's gonna be where Figueroa was gonna see that time that and then knock him stupid. And that's where I landed.
Yeah, I saw him doing that, and he was doing that. He kept throwing that same hook afterwards. Like he was throwing a hook. I thought I was glitching. I said, "Is he looking?" I thought it was weird that he was doing that. I mean,
hey, can I say something real quick? Because I'm a fighter myself, and the one thing I want to say is I just didn't like his footing on that hook. Like his foot would be all over the place on that hook, and that's why he would miss so awkwardly. Like one thing about it is, man, you need to keep your foot in place to throw that hook. You can't have that foot all over the place. I'm talking about the front one.
So I'm gonna ask you, Boom, since you're like the fighter up here. What would cause a fighter to throw a hook like that? Like it's a power hook.
Hey, see,
where your head is turned away.
I'll be honest. I felt like that was a desperation. Like, with his foot not even being in place, you're not even really, throwing your shot the correct way. I felt like that was desperation.
Like a haymaker.
Yeah, like I didn't like the way he was throwing it, man. I'm like, that is disgusting,
Yeah,
I mean, missing, and when he missed real bad. That'll zap your energy too, won't it, Boom? When you miss like that,
when you miss punches, you exert a lot of energy. I'm gonna be real, so.
Yeah, because you tightening up your core, you're breathing in, and you letting that shit out, and that's a whole lot of nothing you're connecting with.
Yeah, bro.
So,
I don't know. Like I said, I just ain't like his punch placement. I mean, his footing with his punches, man. That shit was terrible. It looked like all camp, you was just like, fuck my feet. I'm worried about my hands. So,
Well, so that's not in your book. That wasn't an upset. I think the odds weren't in Figueroa's favor, but this like the fourth quote unquote upset we got this year.
That's crazy for that to be considered an upset, because Figueroa's been a champion before.
Yeah, he was a two-time. Yeah. I mean, I just think with the momentum and all that, I think that's just what the odds. The odds were saying that the odds maker. But look, this is what I want to say, man. And salute to Figueroa. He proved me wrong. It's glory to be had out here.
Salute to you, because you be keeping it real about who you wanted to win type shit. So salute to that, because you be keeping it real.
Yeah, I give so much information to where it's like I could tell you, like I was saying that I seen Figueroa box before. I said I don't know why he don't do it, because he don't have to fight like that. I just say statistically, if you go back and look at his plus minus, he was like up there with Navarrete. We're getting hit. Like they was competing for most, they get hit a lot. So I was like, I seen him box where it's like I didn't even know he could box like that. Like he can box. Like he don't have to do that rock him, sock him. I've seen him do it and have control and look good, like turn it on. Like, so I don't know why he fight like that, but he typically don't fight like that. And I was thinking that that armadillo style might get to him, because I didn't know how hard Nick Ball punch. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, maybe he don't hit that hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But this is what I want to say. it's glory to be had because Josh Kelly sold it, even though he was a little controversial in that, in the decision because of the knockdown that wasn't counted. But like, it's clearly showing with Xander and the energy he had to go unify. Like, he just got his strap, he wanted to go unify right away. It's glory for you guys to have out here, but everybody have all these caveats of stuff that they don't want to do and who they won't fight and what they need in order for the fight to happen. But look at what people are doing, man. Like, look at the recency things that have happened, and we're gonna have recency bias. Recently, there have been a bunch of people who done went up and did, and we keep hearing and the new. We've been hearing and the new more than we've been hearing and still. So there's glory to be had if you just take the chance and bet on yourself and you fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at the Figueroas of the world. Look at the Josh Kellys. They are grabbing the bull by the horns. They're taking chances, and they're going to go make it happen. Like, you gotta respect and salute that energy. It's just y'all, the people that know what they need to do to make these fights, man. Make these fights. Dare to be great. Dare to challenge yourself. Dare to, like, say fuck the old. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it gotta go, it's gonna go. But skills pay the bills.
Go out on your shield on something you're proud of. That's the only thing you could do as a professional is like, listen, if you gonna fire me or I'm gonna get whatever, then I'm doing the fuck I want to do it. I'm on my Frank Sinatra right now. I'm doing it my way. Win, lose, the draw. You know what I'm saying? So, this is the crazy part of boxing because this you got literal real people. I mean, not real people. Fighters taking a real risk to go after and try to snatch their greatness, whether it's a matter of timing, opportunity, or just saying, you know what, I'm going to do it, taking one of the actual toughest guys in the division that's a champion.
That's Nick Ball, though. He got heart, man. Like, he kept fighting tough fights.
That's why I wanted to see him in Shushu, because I felt that out of most of the guys that was there, he was the one that's gonna beat Shushu up, and you're gonna know what Shushu really made of.
Word. No, I agree with you. I feel like Shushu got heart too.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it a beam with y'all. I don't see Brandon Figueroa beating Shushu.
Really?
Oh, I don't either.
That's it.
I want to hear from you.
I don't see him beating him. I just see it being a close fight. That's all.
Nah, I don't see it even a close fight, bro. I'm not even. If I had to use recency bias on the performance that I just saw, and I'm looking at them two at their performances, I'm like, Shushu could probably put it together. You feel what I'm saying? If he takes his plus or minuses from the last fight, he could probably get the TKO on this dude.
You know what? I low key, I didn't even think about it like that. But you low key right in a sense of, because Shushu is a smart fighter. He got buried. He got a lot of power. Yeah.
I mean, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna say this as well. If Shushu flips up and or Brandon or Figueroa decides to come in and do the boxing that Bodywork is talking about, he's seen him doing, then we gonna get this close 50-50 fight. You feel what I'm saying? And then we're gonna see, all right, this is probably one of the most experienced guys that you're gonna fight. He's a two-time champ, if I'm correct, and he knows how to get that belt back and knows what to do to win to get that belt back. So, in a unification, this will be a tough one, but I still got Shushu winning. And if Shushu don't show up, I definitely see Brandon Figueroa just easily in a unanimous decision.
in the fight, if you want to go back and look at it, it's his last fight, the Joel Gonzalez fight, and that's the one where Shakur got his first belt up off that guy. Well, not
Yeah.
up off the guy, but that's when he got his first belt, fighting against Joel Gonzalez. But that's the fight where I saw him box, and I said I didn't even know he could do that because everything else just been rock'em sock'em Mexican style. Like, but the dude is 27. He's 27-2 and 1 with 20 knockouts. He got a 74% knockout ratio. So he will wear you down. He can catch you. You just show he can catch you. And maybe like how Lara was, where Lara kind of changed up a little bit. Maybe he, I don't know. Maybe he might slow down and don't do that high volume and just get hit and work on like really delivering his punch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got Shushu beating him right now, but like it's not going to be just a walk in the park. He actually earned that kind of respect from me. I'm more interested in seeing how would Shushu do with Espinosa. That's the one that probably make me the most nervous. But they both like to bang, so it's if Shushu catch him when he doing his wild shit, he ain't gonna be able to get up. But if he imposes his will like he did on Robisi, he could hurt Shushu. So that's the one that I'm most interested in now that Nick Ball is out the picture. I don't sleep on Angelo Leo because he went down to the dungeon of Pro Box and came up, you know what I'm saying, like as that guy, and had a devastating win as well. So I'm waiting to see what he got going on. But that division, man, it's spicy enough for me to make this now. Like it's interesting enough now that Shushu got it that I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm proud of Shushu, and I hope he get all the opportunities he needs because he's action packed.
So,
yeah, he is. Yeah, he's excited to watch too.
For undisputed match, all 4 champions.
It's too
How do
soon.
you guys match them up? Who versus who for undisputed?
It's too soon for me, but yeah, it's too soon.
I mean, in the perfect world, for me, I would like to see Brandon Figueroa fight Espinosa, and I'd love to see Shushu versus Leo. You feel what I'm saying? Or Shushu.
I like Shushu. I like Shushu versus Leo as well.
And at the end of the day, I'm in a toss-up between Shushu and Espinosa for undisputed. They both got 2 belts, or Shushu and why am I brain farting on his name?
Espinosa?
Figueroa.
Oh, Figueroa.
Yeah. I'm just a little. I like Angelo Leo. I like his style. He made a fan of me from watching him on Pro Box, and then his first appearance back on the big stage. He was definitely, I don't even know, did he win knockout of the year for that knockout when he got his belt, or was he like the runner up or some shit like that? But he in my book was definitely the front runner for me for knockout of the year. The way he knocked out old boy to get his belt and shit like that. I just feel that it's not quite his time yet. You know what I'm saying? There's just something about Leo that just makes me feel that he's a solid fighter. But when it comes down to like the 8th to the championship rounds, that's when the other guys can actually go into that second gear and make those adjustments and beat him. I don't know if Leo is at that level. I think what got him that impressive knockout was sheer determination, because he wasn't really doing anything, and the other guy was like so all over the place and awkward that the minute he made that mistake, you made it you made the mistake of feet, hands being down in some weird movement. All of that culminated to the right time where Angelo Leo was just throwing a punch to try to hit you where he thought you was gonna be,
Word.
and you just walked right into it. Wow! So I just, well, let me put it like this. I think ring IQ is going to be the biggest difference. That's why I think he's not really there. He's a dog. He's tough, but I don't know if he has enough looks to beat those guys, to beat the other 3 champions. I could be wrong. Determination sometimes is the motherfucker that actually beats skill when skill get lazy.
Let me ask you something though, because I don't want my message to get misconstrued about Nick Ball. I just gave him credit. I gave him a salute because he fought a formidable guy, and I'm saying we gotta respect the guys that like Brian Norman, like taking on Devin Haney, and the outcome being the outcome. It's like if people don't afford that, like T.O. giving Shakur the opportunity, he didn't show up in my opinion, but he at least made the fight. So I don't discredit him for that because he made a fight. You know, that you could easily be managed and maneuvered. We see it happen with all these guys, Golden Boy, Matchroom, all these guys be getting, managed. But as far as Nick Ball, I'm not taking him out the picture. I'm just looking at it realistically. Most of the time, I know the guys that I like, they're not going to be looking for nobody coming off of a knockout loss. They at least want you to come back, show that, just come back, because it, like, people discredit wins like that. Like, only certain people can get a fight with somebody coming off of a knockout or coming off of a controversial decision and get credit, you know? So I'm thinking Nick gonna have to go back, I ain't gonna say a light touch, but get somebody that he can a showcase fight, a comeback, you know what I'm saying? Just to, because it's trauma when you get done like that. That's trauma, and that's the first time he experiencing that. If he was one of my guys, I would have did an adversity university on him and broke down, everything. But like, he ain't really one of my guys, so I, what I'm saying, I thought he'd be a good pelt on the wall. But I'm asking, what should be his next move? Like, do you think people will give him a shot? Is he a tough out? Like, is he a name big enough? Like, well, because I don't think he's coming right back to get a champ, but I think he'll come back and somebody will give him a shot. What y'all think he should do going forward?
So look, before y'all cook, look, man, I don't think that people gonna understand it too well, but 130 is a toss-up division. You get what I'm saying? Like, I look at that division like anybody could win that shit, man. Like, anybody could go undisputed in that division with the champions that they got right now, because they all are really good fighters, you know what I mean? So Nick Ball, he not really in trouble to where it's like it's over, because again, anybody could win that division, man. There's a lot of tough fights there. And what you got to say about 130 is everybody fighting everybody. In other divisions, everybody not really fighting everybody. So again, you got to tip your hat off to Nick Ball and that whole 130 division.
Now they have 126.
Or 126, because again, everybody fighting each other in that division, bro.
Well, for me, I'm just kind of looking at kind of standout names that are good enough that would actually warrant some talk with Nick Ball. 2 names that I'm thinking of right now is I like him in Omar Trinidad, and I like him with where the fuck did I just forgot the dude's name. He was just right here. But just off of it, I like him. I would feel happy with him. I think I was just looking at no, it wasn't Joet Gonzalez. That would be like a nice light touch if I was thinking of anything. And damn, I just had this guy. Why?
I like Joet though. I like Joet for him. That's a good or a rematch Raymond Ford without the belt.
Yeah, I like that. But is Ray Ford getting ready to fight for a belt? Boom.
Yeah. Yep, he
He at
sure is.
130
I
though.
forget which one it is, but shout
I
out
mean,
my
there's
He at
also
130.
Louis Neary.
Yep.
Don't know if he fought him already.
I would like Luis Neri. That's a good fight.
That's a dangerous fight. Neri can crack.
You think
Yeah.
so?
Neri can crack, man. Yeah, man. Neri can crack, bro. Yeah. That's a dangerous fight coming off of that shit. You might have a Tim Zoo moment, boy, when he fought boxing.
You funny.
But let me ask y'all something else. Are you familiar? Cause you what you gonna be around 154? Boom.
Yeah, 154, 147.
Oh, okay. So I was thinking 154, 160. Do you know anything about that dude, Yoeli Hernandez?
I like him. He got style for real. He got a good jab. Yoeli is tough, but we'll see. Cause Jahai tough. Jahai will be a good test, especially if Jahai don't go in there and fall over. My money with Jahai, because I got a relationship with Jahai. That's my boy. I'm able to reach out to him. He actually invited me to one of his camps before. Jahai, good people, man. I fuck with him. Shout out Jahai.
Y'all ever sparred?
No, we were going to, but Bomac just didn't get his flight in time, and other things had happened, so we just didn't make it happen at that time. But Jahai is my boy, man. I could FaceTime him right now.
Yeah, I'm pulling for him, man. That'll be a nice pelt on the wall, man. Like I just want to see. I want to see Jahai under all circumstances remain active. Now he last fought in June, and so if it's anytime soon, like in the spring, March, like that'll be a good look for him, man. Dangerous fight, but very good look. And I trust Jahai because of his style. He got a different style.
Right. Nah, I fuck with Jahai. I like his style. I like him because he cocky, you know. So I don't know. I think that Jahai could pull it off and, you know, really make the upset, you know. So we'll see what happens, man. But Yoeli not nobody to sleep on then either, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Yoeli got game. He tough. He can really fight, so.
Yeah, that division is still wide open with Adames not defending his title. That's like no man's land up there at 60 right now. I'm like, what y'all doing? Like, Boots, go up there and just do something, bro. Your peers, I don't want to go down there, but I'm like, bro, it's right there for the taking, bro. Like,
man, I ain't gonna lie. Earl, let's go. Get back in this shit and go grab the straps at 60, bro. They right there on you.
It's funny you
that's
said
what I've been
that.
saying, bro. That's what I've been saying.
I want Earl back, man.
Bro. Boom. Tell him how long I've been saying that, Boom. I think you've
been saying it for years, but I'm really pulling for him. Like, I want to see Earl.
Like, just go straight to 160. I said, Earl, you will be. I've been saying, bro, you go to 160 in 2.5 years, you are undisputed.
Yes, you've been saying that for a long time.
Bruh, like, come on, man. I said, listen, don't even think about 54. Just go straight to 160. It's enough smoke there.
154, 160 is food. Adames is food.
Yeah,
all the niggas is food.
I was saying,
food.
I had dudes talking to me like I was crazy because I was like, bro, that man will beat the shit out of Janabek. Janabek don't like body shots, and Janabek is, he can box and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we're looking at the same Janabek that we was looking at when I think Buddy McGirt was his trainer. I was like, bro, that's not the same dude. So Earl got that. It's an easy fight the way I see it.
Yeah.
Hey, it was an Earl Spence sighting here recently. I seen somebody interview him and they asked him, I hate to see my two guys going through this, but hey, you know, if it's a potential fight and they want to get down, I'm not going to step in the way. I just had a problem when it was Derrick James, but they asked him about Jermell, and Earl was just like, man, you know, what other big fights? You know, he ran down a list of all the big names just doing whatever. And he was like, man, he want to get paid. You know, I was like, damn, he's saying Mel want to fight him to get a bag. He's like, he know how the sparring went. I was like, dang, there's some Creed shit for real, but that's that'll be a huge ass fight. You know what I'm saying? I want to see them both come back and get active, and then so we get the best fight, and not a whole bunch of people working on their timing and all that stuff. I want them to have a timing fight
Yeah.
where they make
But
sure.
Earl been gully on Mel for he just been gully on them dudes for a minute for me. The way I've always seen Earl, like he always said slick shit like, y'all know who be in the gym fucking y'all up. I was like, wow, Earl just don't give a fuck on that sense. And it always seemed as though there wasn't a lot of pushback to it, to whereas they're like, yeah. At the end of the day, when the time comes, we gonna show we'll show you what's what, but we'll let you talk right now. But I've always been like, bruh, that's the fight for me to watch. When all of them was around 54, and especially when they was outside of, I don't remember what Charlo house, but they was like in the driveway or whatever, and it was more like the dude was asking them, would y'all fight each other and stuff like that, and I was always kind of leaning that the toughest fight would be between Mel and Earl. For some reason I always felt he would stop Maul, but Mel would have been the one that could seriously they could stop each other. That's just the way I saw it. I was like, these two dudes could knock each other the fuck out. So, I don't know about that one.
Me, I look at it like this. They know what we know about what happened in sparring. The question is Earl still the same, or will he have PTSD once he get hit?
Don't want to talk about that sparring.
and Jamel, he got perhaps, I'm gonna say he gotta be top 3 as far as that overhand right. If he line you up and he got you with that motherfucker overhand right, that shit do damage, man. So I was like, because they both my guys, I'm not gonna pick anybody in that fight. I'm just gonna that's almost like me seeing Tank and Mr. Gary Russell. I'm just there just to support both my guys. You're not gonna get me into no bullshit about them two. I'm just gonna be watching, and I ain't gonna get up and go pop no popcorn or nothing, man. I'm just gonna be sitting there like, God damn, look at these. So if it happens, sign me up, take my money. Outside of that, Earl, he's still kind of teasing that he gonna come back. I just want him to come back right, man. I want him to come back right with a trainer, and I'm thinking they affiliating him with Roy, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Like,
I don't like that, Roy.
I don't know, man. Roy, I want to see him calling fights. His guys. Because if Earl get in there and get to acting like Eubanks, thinking that he was, Roy Jones, and he got his ass mixed, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that shit.
And I think that's the biggest problem with me for Roy Jones and like, just Roy Jones in general as being a coach. I've seen it with other coaches that were fighters in making that transition. What you wind up doing is trying to mold the fighter the way you used to train, instead of looking at that fighter, looking at their attributes and saying, okay, this is what we can work on, this is what I can help you develop, but you've already got a style. You know what I'm saying? That's not my job. Like, people used to watch me dance and be like, can you teach me to dance? I'm like, no, I can't teach you how to dance. You either can dance or not. What I could do is show you steps once you already know the fundamentals of rhythm. I can't teach you rhythm. I don't know how to do shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if I did, you would just be a carbon copy of me, not doing what you do. You feel what I'm saying? So that to me is kind of like my pet peeve when I look at Roy, and at times when you look at Buddy McGirt. It's like, you guys keep seeing these fighters through the filters of how you came up through boxing. And maybe this is why, it's different for you. Like, a fighter that wasn't good, you feel what I'm saying, who had an upside down record, they seem to be the guys that make the best trainers.
I would want to see Earl with Kevin Cunningham, the Southpaw Whisperer. You know what I'm saying? I would want to see him with that. Like, but you just brought something up, man. What was that thing you were talking about? Because you said you see something with Buddy McGirt fighters that you said you saw something.
Yeah, it's just the fact that it feels like it seems like when I'm watching a fighter fight, it almost seems as though I'm looking at a slightly off variation of Buddy McGirt. And it's like, bro, you got to let these guys be them. Let them be them. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I haven't seen or don't really know of like all the fighters that Buddy McGirt has actually trained. I did like what he was doing with Jennebeck. Again, if I'm correct, that he was Jennebeck's trainer, or I may be confused as somebody else. He seemed to let Jennebeck kind of be himself, but there was still some off things about it. Like, you get in there with Adamas or Lara, I don't know about what you're doing right now. You know what I'm saying?
Was he behind Bodywork? Is that the guy? Was recently he was behind somebody, not Frank. He did excellent with Frank. But,
yeah.
But it's another guy that we recently seen that made you say that it was another fight. I think it was Bodywork. Well, I don't know if it was Matt. I don't know if it was Madrimov or Bodywork. It was one of not Madrimov.
No, it might have been Madrimov. No, was it Matt? No, it wasn't Madrimov. It was somebody recent we saw. I just don't remember the fighter, and I was like, "Oh shit, Buddy's in his corner."
And the jury's out on Jennebeck, man, especially with the stuff. I've been witness. I actually did some homework, AC, on Conor Benn. There was all this talk about Conor Benn and this and this and that, and I was like, a lot of people give Ryan flack because I've been drawing these parallels between Conor Benn and Ryan. How they never got a title. They're big names. They make money. They be in these big fights, but they kind of like on the same plane where they're more like socialites that can box, but they both have a skill set to where if they were trained and focused and all that, like we seen Conor Benn used to be one of my guys. We seen what Ryan can do. He's just not focused. And I asked myself, I said, well, shit, how did Conor Benn get cleared? And I started reading all the information, and it's like UCAD still, they had a firm stance on the fact that they wasn't all the way necessary. They just couldn't prove that whatever was intentional. Right. So I was looking at it like, is Conor Benn a valuable opponent? Because he's looking at coming back down. I think he ain't been at 47 in 2 years. I think when he fought Pete Dobson, or maybe one fight after that. He's looking at coming back down to 47, and I was thinking about the weight clause and all that kind of stuff and all this and this. And I'm like, here you got a guy that pop. You got a guy that pop versus a guy that is affiliated with Snack. I was like, nobody's talking about any of those things, So I'm like, that'll be a one-off, and hopefully both of them guys can get somebody, because Boots needs somebody, and Shakur should be able to capitalize on his momentum with the Tio fight.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But what I'm getting at ultimately is, I bring up Conor Benn because he had a past, and just like I bring up AB because she had a past, and I look at both of them after both of those situations, they didn't perform the same. So my question would be, with Jennebeck going out the way he went and getting popped, for that known thing. This wasn't like contamination and all that. This was a known thing. I got to follow up on what happened with his suspension. I'm thinking, will he even be the same afterwards? Because I seen Conor Benn and I seen AB, and they still decent, but they're not the same as before.
I'm gonna give you one more, and this is gonna probably shock a lot of people. Pretty much after AJ fought Klitschko, there's zero reports of him having a TUE. Prior to that, you could actually call AJ the TUE king of boxing. His Olympic run, he had a TUE. The majority of his rise, it seemed as though every other fight or every tough fight, he had a TUE. And this is not something that came from me. This was a UK boxing content creator. Guy Hatman or some shit like that. He pointed it out, and this was like early on before AJ and the whole Wilder thing came up. Once that whole AJ and Wilder thing came up, he just went full AJ. You know, supporting the UK, supporting UK boxing, stuff like that. But he was pretty adamant on it. He also exposed the fact that Tyson Fury had a lot of TUEs. But the point I'm saying is that when you look at those early performances, AJ looked unstoppable. He was just smacking everything to sleep. You feel what I'm saying? And then there was this slow decline of him having like really solid punch resistance, and you being dropped by people who definitely don't hit as hard as Klitschko. So there was that issue. When it comes down to Conor Benn and things like that, that's an absolute really real observation. Like, it just seems as though after your whole situation, I don't know if it's the mind, it's the way you train. You're skeptical about using supplements because you're like, I don't know if I pop this supplement and UCOD test me, is something in one of these supplements going to give me whatever. So I don't know if it's a matter of, and I'm just doing my best to try to be a little political and try to understand why the change is there. And you know, fighters nowadays take supplements and do things for recovery of the heavy workouts that they do, the heavy camp regimen. So they take these things to try to replenish themselves. Maybe he's in a position to whereas he's not wanting to do stuff like that because he doesn't know how UCOD's going to test him or what's going to come back. You don't know what you consume, and there's always false positive or false negatives in testing and shit like that. But to make a long story short, I just don't know what it actually is within Conor Benn that before the situation you fought a certain way. After the situation, your most notable stoppage is a weight drain, damn near dude looking like he was about to fall the fuck out because he just didn't have anything in the gas tank. And that's not from fatigue, that's from the drastic weight cuts and the drastic rehydration of Chris Eubanks. So it's like, you're a star off for doing what? Eddie Hearn just said Conor Benn is a superstar. So if these guys want to fight him, they got to come to the UK. You feel what I'm saying? I didn't even know Josh Kelly fought in front of a 70,000 fan stadium. I was like, wow, okay, that's something. And Conor Benn was doing numbers. So he's like, yeah, between Conor Benn and Josh Kelly, these guys that want to fight him have to understand that the big money is in the UK. So he's a superstar and he's gonna be wanting to fight these guys and stuff like that. And I'm just like, are you and Ryan the fucking Kardashians of boxing, the New Jersey Shore of boxing? Y'all niggas is like personalities who can box. I mean, I really don't know. I would say the difference between you and Jake Paul is you guys actually can fight and been doing this shit as professionals. You feel what I'm saying? But as far as personalities and your rise to fame, it's like, wow, I don't fucking get it. I don't get it. Whereas they're demanding that if there's a big fight with either one of these guys, you guys got to come overseas and all of this other stuff, because they can put numbers in they can do better numbers in the stadium than any place in America. I'm like, oh wow, that's crazy work there, Eddie. That's crazy work, but it just shows that, you know, at the end of the day, how much of a great promoter Eddie Hearn is. He's got a drug sheet, never been champion, never done really anything significant in boxing, and yet he made this man a superstar. That's a great fucking promoter. And it just makes us question, to the conversation we had yesterday, why the fuck ain't you doing that with Boots? And that's just my little dig and inconsistent shot at when it comes down to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think, you know, the father's name, you know, and they know they playing with an asset that, you know, they can cash in on a lot. I think that after the egg situation, where, you know, the research I say says that it can't come from eggs. Like it can't. So to explain how that got in his system, because it's a fertility drug. It was never really explained, but they couldn't prove that he did anything intentional. But it really wasn't eggs. They just, I don't know why, because I asked why was eggs included. He hasn't been the same, and it's been a lot of Eddie's used that to his advantage, bringing him over here, getting him a Pete Dobson, who's pretty much like a late replacement, like Renault type fighter that can give you some good work. Probably ain't gonna knock him out, gonna give you a lot of rounds, gonna have his moments where he might catch you with a shot or two, but you should be able to step on if you got any skills. Conor Ben, right at his peak was when he stopped Algieri, because they always calling out Adrian Broner. Blair, in his weird checker playing way, was able to land AB, because Devin was gunning for AB, Conor Ben was gunning for AB. There was a lot of people screaming out AB. And Conor Ben was on a rampage. When he stopped Algieri, the way he stopped Algieri, I said, this dude is real. Yeah. Then that whole situation happened, and ever since then, I've been looking at his performance, and it's been masked to me. It's like, we can't see you against any other Lamborghinis or Ferraris. You're doing these freak shows to where I was adamant about it. I said, I don't want to see Chris Eubanks like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's not, because, listen, it's funny how everybody want to praise Bud for being number one pound for pound and what he was able to do and use him as an example. But they don't want to use his example where he moved up. He moved up from 47 to 54, and then from 54 to 68, he jumped up to 68. It was no one-way rehydration. It was no caveats. There was no clauses. There was no nothing. It was just skills pay the bills. Now, these guys will tell you skills pay the bills, but then want to put something like that on somebody. Like, you know, he'll be coming back down. Like, when the last time Conor Ben fought at 47? I think he should have been at 54. But when I look at the picture, he's short. Like, so he's short and he'll probably be short stocky if he don't work out. He'll probably be more stocky, but he just got that short, wide frame. And I think he should be at 54, at 47. I'm not even sure how he's going to look, because that punching power he had, I hadn't seen it. Now, he can overwhelm you and wear you down or catch you with a haymaker like anybody, but like the way he was like crushing people, I'm talking about putting people out their misery before that situation, he hasn't looked like that. So yeah. I'm not that invested in Conor Ben. I used to be. And so now it's like, if he get a fight, he get a fight. But it's odd how whenever Ryan come up, it's like, y'all trust that jug treat, y'all do this, y'all do that. But then Conor Ben, he's just the next star that everybody want to match him up with. Nobody says nothing about his history. So I'm like, I'd rather kind of stay away from that. I don't think he's really a factor. He hasn't done it. Like, I like Ryan. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pulling for Ryan. Maybe that's because he's the American fighter or whatever. I'm not sure. But I think that he had a skill set to where if he was really focused, he would have been really dangerous with his frame. And he's shown how dangerous he is with that left hook. But people disrespect Ryan and say he hasn't won anything. He hasn't done this. He hasn't done that. I mean, he beat Devin and then he had that adverse thing, but he did something even though he blew weight. He didn't make a title, but he beat somebody of that calendar. I saw it. You know what I'm saying? I saw it. So we can't unsee that. But people will disrespect Ryan, say he ain't never had no strap, he ain't never did this, he ain't never did that. And over there across the pond, you got Conor Ben doing the same exact thing. Well, where his following and his promoter and all of that are just selling him, and everybody's just opening up with open arms, saying, "Yeah, I want that Conor Ben fight." What you saying, AC?
I was just gonna say, but for me, one of the caveats for Ryan is that he's been in 3 championship fights. The fight with him and Rolly, I believe that was for a belt. The fight with him and Dev was for a belt. The fight for him and Tank was for a belt. So he's fought on the championship level multiple times and stuff like that. So I give him credit on that. So I would be a person that, would say, because I'm using media talking points, that he hasn't done anything. But I would also always follow it up. If I'm talking specifically about him, I would always follow it up and say, yeah, he hasn't done anything as far as getting a belt, but he has fought at the championship level because he's been in 3 championship fights. So you got to give him respect on that. And it ain't no like pushover, because other fighters, that we give credit to, that, let's say Anthony Yard pretty much was in the same situation. He's fought for a belt, I think 4 times and come up short all 4 times. But take away the situation with Devin Haney, he would have been champion, because from the fight I saw that night, and let's just say 48 hours after that, I was congratulating him like, yo, he just beat a guy that's actually on a pound for pound list. And he just dropped that dude that many times, and he beat him. He beat my guy. I'm not, listen, on that night, the way he fought, he probably would have beat, a lot of young dudes. Do you feel what I'm saying? Because one goofy dude was like, yeah, but he wouldn't have been able to do that with Shakur. I was like, how the fuck do you know? That's crazy you would say that, because nobody was feeling that he was going to do that with Devin. You know what I'm saying? So Shakur hasn't faced a person that fast with power like that. So I'm not going to say that. I'm going to give that man his props. I'm not going to try to jump on that bandwagon. Oh, he wouldn't have been. No, that shit is goofy to me. So give him his props for what he did. On that night, he beat the shit out of my guy, Devin. So I gave him props. So I'm just like, Ryan is just a different story. Like, Ryan is a kid that's actually in a position, belt or not, boxing or not, I really don't need none of this shit to make money. I have a personality. I have looks. I got so many things going for me outside the ring right now that I'm good. And that's probably why he doesn't take the shit as serious as he once did.
Yeah, I mean, do you have you seen any of the images of Ryan here lately?
Not of like I've just seen images of him like kind of playing around with people in his camp and stuff like that, fully dressed, and they like in hotel rooms or his house or some shit like that, fucking around. and that's pretty much it. Other than that, no. If there's anything
He
else,
looking ripped. He look ripped. He look like he in shape.
yeah, that even with clothes on, that's what I'm saying. It's like you look like you in shape, like your face is chiseled. You know, you look like, bruh. I think you're gonna bring something to that Barrios fight, bruh. I think he like, look, I gotta right this wrong. You know what I'm saying?
So what would be what's the business? What do the business of boxing need? Who do the business of boxing need to win that fight?
Ryan.
Because that sets up the Devin fight, or what? That makes that allows him to be that finally gives him validation, or what? What? Why you say that?
Because when you look at so many things in boxing, right? And you look at the personalities, you got. I was watching the Texas Hold'em series. You feel what I'm saying? The poker series and stuff like that. And they had a celebrities jump off, right? And guess who was sitting at the table? Ryan Garcia, playing poker. Had all the ladies screaming, talking, you know, they was like, God, we've never seen this many ladies, you know, involved. Like, Ryan can bring demographics to boxing that boxing looks at and be like, yeah. You feel what I'm saying? And this is why you have to look at Josh Kelly now having this belt and having this leverage as for UK boxing. Josh Kelly is needed. You know what I'm saying? To be in these different demographics. No Diddy, good looking guy, can box, has a personality, can articulate himself extremely well. Boom. Superstar in the making. You know what I'm saying? Ryan exudes that equality, but it's like you just got to get Ryan to understand that, okay, you're good right now, but do you want to be Floyd Mayweather and Canelo good? And if he can grasp that, then sky's the limit for Ryan Garcia when it comes down to boxing. And right now, that limit is within a solid performance and a solid lead up and a solid showing of yourself and accountability of yourself going into this Barrios fight. Because if he stops Barrios and he looks very impressive doing that, and there's no like real shenanigans and stuff like that, oh my God, you think the way they talk about Shakur, watch how they're gonna talk about Ryan.
That's facts. What's up? What's going on, Johnny Allison?
How's it going, guys? AC?
What's going on, bro?
What's
up, man?
What's going on? Yeah, just a couple of things what AC was saying. As far as Ryan Garcia goes, he's always been a major star. The thing is with him is I think he's got serious mental, he's got mental health demons he always deals with. He parties for real. Like, the guy parties for real in between camps. He'll go out, as AC alluded to, and play poker all night. This guy walks down the street with chicks and a whole entourage like he's, I don't know, like he's 50 Cent, whatever. He parties for real, and that's the big allure behind Ryan is, people love him just because. But the guy he's got a real amateur background. He's a 14 national amateur champ. He's for real. Yeah. His background is solidified. Like he can be a superstar. It's his mental health. Josh Kelly, on the other hand, you're looking at a one hitter quitter. I think this guy will fade off, and I could be wrong. I'm just a bit of a hater because I saw his style and that hometown ref and all the holding and grabbing and everything. I'm not into it. I'm not a Josh Kelly fan, like at all.
Yeah, me neither.
And I can see how you said that, AC, that he's needed for British boxing, and this and that, but I really think that he'll lose depending on who they match him up with. I think he's going to be faded off into the sunset pretty quickly here, in my opinion.
No, I could honestly see that, and that's a real like reality when it comes to Josh Kelly, because you may be the now pawn to get UK boxing extremely big, extremely big, to where you may say all the biggest fights happen in the UK. We got the biggest stadiums, blah 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 blah. Josh Kelly may be that tool, and that's kind of where I'm alluding to Josh Kelly being needed for English boxing.
Right. And I see that.
And I think they may maneuver him in a way that they're going to get, their money's worth off of Josh Kelly before they finally cash him out.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah, you're probably right. I mean, they moved Jake Paul along pretty nicely. And if they can move a guy like Paul around like that, they can certainly move a world champion. But can he pick and choose, though? I thought he had to take on mandatories, and the schematics and the legalities of boxing I'm not too good at. I'm good at the bios, but I mean, I thought that the world champion has to always fight within top 10. Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, the IBF is going to enforce it. The IBF is going to restrict it, so I don't think he got much time.
Right.
But I think he can. I think with him having just done that, he probably get a one-off. They bring it back like most people. They get a hometown fight.
Okay.
They got that Sunderland Stadium, the Stadium of Light. It holds 48,000. But this is how they selling him. He was in the 2016 Olympics, and he won 2015. He won the bronze in the European Games. So they selling him like that. He like the Tom Cruise. He can talk some stuff. He's a little flashy. So they kind of running. They're going to run with that for a little while. I just think it's unfortunate for Boots in this situation because he's like, they saying he don't bring nothing to the table. I'm like, well, why'd y'all sign up to fight him? Like, why'd y'all sign a contract with his name on it? And now y'all going to play keep away. So,
yeah, really.
But I got to put some blame over there on the Boots side because you signed up with Eddie and Eddie had to sell you on whatever. And he got the guy on contract. So why is this man saying you don't bring nothing to the table and you signed to fight him?
So I just wanted to come in with this, and this is I haven't seen this in the IBF rankings before. The 1 and 2 spot are not rated. The 3rd spot is actually vacant. The 4th spot is Caleb Walsh. Caleb Walsh. The 5th spot, Brandon Adams. Nikita Zoo. You feel what I'm saying? He could play, knowing Eddie could easily play the IBF mandatory game. We in discussions, but then, we got a mandatory, so no unifications right now. We got another, and you're steady building something that Eddie Hearn said he loves more than cross promotions and traveling to America. He said over and over again, he loves domestic level fights, especially if they're big domestic level fights.
Yep. Well, sounds like he's playing favorites to me, but anyhow, because Boots would eviscerate him, and I don't think there's an argument in the house for that. But moving on to tonight, what we saw tonight, and this is what I wanted to jump on. Usually I'm a keyboard warrior with you guys and let you guys cook live, but I edged my boy Bodywork on to go live tonight quickly because I am so impressed with the heartbreaker tonight. Figueroa was not only he's gracious. A true champ in my book is not how you win, because everybody is the man when they win, but gracious in defeat, a class act in carrying himself, a class act in the way he speaks, and just who the dude is really. And when Nick Ball took off out of the ring, I jumped ship, man. I'm no longer a Nick Ball fan. When he took off out of the ring, now it didn't help with the hometown fans throwing shit in the ring, which was just
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that was
Couldn't believe
wild,
that.
man. Because he
Could not.
celebrated, man. I'm like,
Yup.
see, that's why you gotta respect the hostile territory. But go ahead.
Yeah. I couldn't believe that. I thought they were gonna treat him like Marvin Hagler when he beat John the Beast Mugabe, and everybody went absolutely nuts and threw stuff all over in the ring. Like this was years and years ago. But then Hagler said, "I'm here, man. I've made it. I spent a long time to get here. I'm here now. Look out." But that's like he never really lost. I mean, I guess arguably the Leonard fight, which I edged Leonard out, but that's even a draw. I don't know. I keep watching that fight and I go one way or the other. But it's how he carried himself, just the class act through and through, and that's a true champion. Like when Nick Ball didn't even give us an interview and he hurried out of the ring, because he was so pissed off. Yeah, you got your ass beat, man. This is boxing. This is putting your gloves on, mano to mano, and not to mention Figueroa is like the Sebastian Fundori of the 54-pound division. He's huge. He's a massive giant for all those guys, and so that's a big advantage. And he can switch a little bit. He's not like Oshaki, but he can switch. He was switching. But he, it shows me, and that's why when I told Bodywork, I jumped off the bandwagon of Devin Haney too. And he's like, "What? You did?" And it's not that Devin Haney was any less of a boxer or any less of a technician. I believe he's one of the truest boxers I've laid my eyes on since Sweet Pea or Floyd. A lot of people said, "Get the hell out of here." But I mean, I know what I'm looking at. But it's how the guy carries himself. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It's how he carries himself. Like when Ariel Awani did an interview with Devin Haney, and he's just the things he was saying, and his and his 1 carat diamond teeth and stuff, and like he's now a gangster, and I don't know. I can't rock with him anymore. I can't rock with that guy. That's why I jumped off the bandwagon. But as far as like pure vanilla, they call vanilla boxing, that he's it. Who's better?
Yeah.
I don't know. Very few, if anybody.
I think me and you are probably within the same space. I'm still a Devin Haney fan, but I'm the Devin Haney fan once he steps in the ring.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole Debo Dev and all of that other kind of stuff, jumping Tiger Johnson and all of that kind of stupid shit. I'm like, I am done with this guy once I saw that.
Yeah.
And
I
then
thought it was Bill that did that to Tiger. Wasn't Bill in the mix?
It was
it was a 2-part thing, you know what I'm saying? It was like 2 different parts. Bill wasn't involved the first time, but the second time,
so
Okay.
for me it was just more of just Team Haney. I'm just done with.
Yeah.
But let me
wasn't
interject
a real
one thing.
pushback. Go ahead.
Let me interject one thing. And I'm so happy that Johnny said this, man. I am a stickler for when you get your ass beat, because you get all the praise. When you get your ass beat, you gotta, unless you need to go to the medical right away, you gotta have dignity. Because I didn't like it when Wilder, that was a stickler for when Wilder did whatever, and I know he felt cheated and all that. But listen, I saw one of my favorite fighters, top 3, Earl Spence, get his ass whooped. That man stood there. He answered the questions. He never gave up. You know what I'm saying? Even afterwards, that late night, the one that they do outside the ring where they got their hat, he sat there with his face looking like that. He had his hat on. He gave respect. He answered the questions. You know, I respect them. I don't like these guys when they first taste defeat and they get out the ring. That's like a pet peeve of mine. I'm like, man, what are you showing the people that's looking up to you, the young people? It's
100%.
bad sportsmanship, and like some of those things are dying. So I'm glad you brought it up, because I'm a stickler for that too. Like, no, you get your ass whooped, because if you would have won and you would have been there, you'd have been in the mess hall with your chest out with everybody singing your glowing praises. You got to take your ass whooping in grace.
Yeah, 100%. Uh, and that's why I respect these guys and these legends like Manny Pacquiao, that is always, gracious in defeat, and gives you proper props, and that's what you show a true champion. Guys that do that, it's just
Mario Barrios do it too. But go ahead.
Mario Barrios did it.
Yeah, he showed grace. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Hey, thank you guys. You know, it wasn't my night. But I think with that San Antonio, it wasn't my night. But no, he was in Atlanta. It wasn't my night. But hopefully you guys will support me and move on. He took his ass whooping, lumps and all, when he got stopped by Tank in Atlanta, I think.
right,
The
right,
best
right.
example of what you guys are talking about, most recent, using recency bias. That's a new word over here. I'm joking, but is the Andy Cruz fight. Andy
Andy
Cruz
Cruz.
Morathaya. Andy Cruz was extra gracious in his loss. He was, the things that he said, he congratulated him. He was like, "Yeah, I thought I did enough. I thought I won, but I lost. This loss doesn't define me. I will be back." And it's just like, I love champions like that.
Yeah.
Feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's hard to deny those guys. I mean, they're the true A-list in boxing, and they're winners inside and outside the ring. And there's a lot of winners inside the ring, but outside this ring, man, there's a lot of losers in boxing. And I just, the way that you carry yourself and all the eyes that are on you, and the things that you do and stuff you say. It's hard to rock with those certain personalities, and that's why I kind of jump on and off some bandwagons, as far as like I was kicked off of and I unsubscribed to the general, what's his name, the general,
78.
What's that?
7-8.
7-8.
Yeah.
I rocked with him for a long time, but then when I saw Brian Norman, when I saw that Brian Norman fight, and I did see Dev holding, I did see him holding. He was holding a lot in that fight, though, what I saw. And I brought it up in the chat. I said, well, what do you guys think about some of the holding Dev did? And then 7-8 saw that comment in the chat room, and he's like, get this. He like posted it, and then he said, get this weirdo dude out of here, Johnny Allison guy. Sent him to the shadow realm. And I was banished because I said, Devin did some holding. And so I desubscribed from 7-8. I still think he's a cool guy, but it's just I don't agree with if I can't voice my opinion on what I see in my TV. I can get down like that, and right, and that's just what I'm saying. So I just wanted to say to you guys that both AC and especially Bodywork, with your outlook and your objective opinion on boxing itself. I just I really appreciate you guys, man, and your outlook and keeping it 100 for the fans. I really just want to tell you guys that in addition to the sport, the cooks are meaningful to me, and I think about them quite a bit, in my personal life, about your conversations and your point of view. So that's all I got. I'm gonna jump back on the keyboard.
Okay, Johnny. I salute you, man. I appreciate that, man. It means a lot to the channel, man. And we're not gonna change, man. This is the only thing. The reason why we're able to come back and do what we do is because we're just gonna look at what our eyes say. We're gonna speak on it. We're not gonna be nasty and terrible about it, but we're gonna speak the obvious, and that's the only thing that keeps us relevant. Because I can't. I got this. Is the last thing I'm gonna say to you, Johnny. With that situation you went with 78, I saw that a long time ago. You can be in somebody's chat supporting, super chatting, donating, encouraging, saying, "Oh man, you cooking, laughing, blah blah blah." The minute they don't agree, it's off with your head, and it's not a matter of if; it's only a matter of when. When they feel like they don't need you, I'm not gonna feel like that unless You think I said something egregious, you bring it to my attention, I'll explain it, we can hash it out. It shouldn't be nothing I say up here that's gonna make me whatever, and you don't have to agree with me.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we welcome opposing opinions because that's how the conversation grows, and that's how you learn stuff about other people and you see things from a different perspective. Like, okay, they might be onto something. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to agree. So I appreciate you for saying that, man.
Yeah.
And congratulations again on your little one, man. I know you enjoying that.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
All right,
Yeah,
John.
salute, bro.
Man, Johnny Allison, man, he part of the 300, man. Great guy, man. Always chiming in, always giving feedback. You know what I'm saying? He's sensible, man. So we need more people like that, man, to tune in, man. What you said? It's Aaron Jones said it's funny but sad. It's no shame in boxing. I thought Blue Blood was as bad as it gets. Years ago I saw that, man. I saw him and that whole crew, just like what Johnny Allison was saying. When I was in there one time and they were talking about rebuilding Black Wall Street and all this stuff, and I just said, well, shoot, you're gonna need a military. But what happened when they ain't have a military to defend everything that they built? That's the first era when anybody trying to, and I normally don't have these kind of conversations with people, but I had been around and chiming in and you know, supporting and laughing and kiki and ha-haing with them guys. I said that they did the same thing that they did to Johnny. They were like, man, look at this month. It's always one that's always on the pole. I said, no, think about it. If somebody soared to meteoric heights and built the whole civilization where they had everything, all kind of businesses, anything you name, their whole own little whatever, they was thriving. It was culture. People was making money. People was healthy. People was happy. People wasn't depressed. And then it gets blown up. Well, you got to think, if you don't have the army, and I'm militant. I was in the army for 7 years. I think militant strategic. If you don't have an army to protect it, then you're going to suffer the same thing that your ancestors suffered, and all your efforts are going to be futile and in vain. How am I a coon? I was called a coon and all kinds of. There's always one that just got to always ring. I said, no, I'm being logical. And that's when I knew with a lot of these guys, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The only way I'll get mad or get upset with somebody is like, and I could have done it, but I didn't. I guess I've changed. But if you got a problem with me, you don't say nothing, then you start getting disrespectful. That's about it. Otherwise, your opinion is what drives the show. You know, your opinion and your take and your perspective is what adds to the cook. It's not just about me. It's not just about AC. It's like we're interactive, and you should be able to state your opinion about anything everywhere because we got freedom of speech. So, there's people out here, man, that got integrity, man, and that's gonna just be truthful, and it ain't nothing wrong with that. So I appreciate what Johnny Allison brought to the table tonight with that, man, and that's what I said, DJ. They never let a guy like Bodywork even put a mic nowhere near one of these fighters. Yeah, man. I said I can't overextend myself trying. I've had interviews. Like I had an interview set up with what's his name? The Magic Man. He a light heavyweight, and I looked at him recently, man. He still hasn't fought Jonathan. Anthony Sims. Anthony Sims. I had an interview with him set up, man. He stood me up. I was like, okay, cool, we can get back. He was like, nah, we got to do it. You know, I'm like, all right, cool. Stood me up again. And I'm just like, man, if it's gonna be like that, I thought I was gonna get an interview with Andre one time, but I noticed that these like boxers are, and rightfully so, they're more sensitive than the fans. But I think when I was giving my assessment with DeMar Nicholson, I just gave my assessment of the fight. And it seemed like everything falls off. It's just like, if you can't be real and honest about what you're seeing and what's going on, and you can't be yourself. I'm not going to do anything where I can't be myself and speak my mind. I'm not nasty. I want them all to get as much money. I be trying to help them. I be talking to them. I'm saying, listen, man, if I go back in time, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. This is what I'm looking at from, being a 45-year-old man, not a 23, 24, 27-year-old, boxing superstar. I'm just passing it along. I want them all to win. But it's a culture out here where you can say whatever you want about anybody else, but when people put you in your camp or whatever you got going on under a microscope, you cry like hoes. That shouldn't be so.
Yeah, absolute facts, bro. At the end of the day, I unsubscribe to so many channels for the simple fact that, dudes is like, don't mention other channels. And I'm looking at it like, okay, so if you're supposed to be a community of Black boxing content creators, and I'm frequenting all of the different guys and different channels, just because these guys have different opinions, but they may be onto something that I totally agree with, and I'm just using some of their footage or reference to, well, I don't, and I'm like, all right, bro, I'm a huge freedom of speech advocate. If I can't talk the way I need to talk, I'm not even gonna come around you, because that's when I'm gonna get disrespectful and rude. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I would lose my cool, and I almost lost it because I was just bringing up a point of saying, listen, I was on another. Well, don't. I was like, listen, I'm not doing that. I'm just saying I was on another panel talking with a guy, and there was an interview. Yeah, but I don't want to hear nothing like that. I was so close to being like, you know what, homie, fuck you and fuck your channel, bro. On some real shit, I listen. You're not gonna do nothing like that around me. If we all outside talking on the block and you come to, I don't want to hear, I'm gonna be like, then shut me the fuck up then. And take off my coat, we gonna knuckle up right now, and you gonna have to shut me up. So it's stuff like that, and if I don't agree with what you're saying, but I have the proof that actually debunks what you're saying, because I know you're running a narrative, then allow me the time to have that debate with you, because it's only going to make your platform better. Don't be like, nah. Kick me off the panel, or tell somebody to send me to the dungeons or whatever. I'm like, see, y'all have an agenda. This is not an informative platform. This is a platform that's based on a bubble. And as long as one person can blow hot air in the bubble, that's the only way the bubble gets bigger. So I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna do that with you weird dude. And I'm not even gonna go there. I don't even go to channels that are heavy on narratives. I stopped dealing with a lot of channels because they're simply just too heavy on narratives, too heavy on any one particular fighter. Now I feel like this: if the fighter's your real family, then you got to be that way, because you are that person's support. But I know when to come on the channel and when not to, and that's to a point that Body said earlier. If he's cooking on Hitchens and you don't like Hitchens, don't pull up. If he cooking on Dev and you don't like Dev, don't pull up. You cooking on Shakur or something fucked up Shakur did, and you feel it's gonna make you angry because you're one of those fans, we'd say pull up and voice your opinion. You don't have to agree. Put me on to something that I don't know, or show me that I was truly misreading the situation.
Exactly.
Because you have inner information that, because I wasn't in those circles over there, it would have never came to light to me. You know what I'm saying? So do that.
Exactly.
I love debates like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got an example, y'all. Of exactly what AC is talking about. It was a dude. Now this don't stop the fact that this dude just a tank hater. It don't stop the fact that he's just a tank hater. Like I recognize him as such. But I know that a lot of these people, they come out and they say and do things, and a lot of viewers, listeners, people who like casuals, they'll, if you don't have time to sit down and read and research and follow the ball, bounce the ball all along, then you're gonna just go by whatever you hear, whoever you like, whoever tickle your fancy as far as doing content. And they can lead you by the nose. But I listen to see where some of the BS come from, and then sometimes I actually learn. Like this was a minute ago. He did something on Tank, and I was listening. He said at this point, he's like, man, Floyd can't trust Tank. He was like, you think they're gonna give him the keys to all this and let him do this and really let him break out if they can't trust where he at and if he's ready for it? And I was like, Eureka. The hater actually has a real legitimate point. And so at that point in time, I started looking at it. I said, yeah, because why? I was like, why at that point in time, that's before he fought in the Royal Farms arena, to give you a timestamp. That's before he fought in the Royal Farms arena and he knocked out Nunez, caught him up against the rope. I was at that fight. But this was before that. That's how long ago. So you want to do your research. That's how many years ago this was. I started saying, why is he not breaking out? He got all the talent in the world, and I've been reading the landscape. Why are they not giving him the keys and letting him, pick, choose, and refuse? And what it made me do was go back and understand that this is a business. And the people, these promotional companies, whoever you're up under, who's guiding you, there's a point in all of these guys' careers, especially when they have major promotion, to where they are not calling the shots. It's their job that if they put a mic in their face, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that. That's why I take that with a grain of salt when they be doing all these call outs and saying, I'm like, well, how is that working? Do your management? I'm like, I don't know, man. So I've gotten better at that. But at that point in time, what it did was it made me go back and it started making me look at these fighters from other promotional companies. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, he's supposed to be saying that guy's name because he is the big dog and everybody want to see it. Yeah, but right now at this phase, he can't pick, choose, and refuse. And so I was like, I learned something from listening to somebody that actually is, to this day, a Tank hater. And I was like, okay, that's a good point. And at that time, like, yeah, Tank went on and he got into some other things. But at that time, Tank had showed the point where it's like, okay, cool, he had moved on. Because if you think about it, that hit and run shit, when that shit finally caught up to him, he had already been on the straight and narrow for a good little while. He just had that black cloud hovering over his head. And to this day, he still got that. So you got to think about, so even when he took off, when he was out there calling, pick, choosing, and refusing, he been on house arrest or had some kind of legal shit going on. Like most of the time you see these guys, they implode from like the simplest shit just because they headlining and everybody, they got the mayor, AI, Mike Vick, all these people there, and they implode. Imagine being on house arrest. Imagine having to ask permission wherever you go from Florida to Baltimore and you live in both places. Like imagine like for years now. And the shit that you gotta pay for it caught up to you late, like a couple years after. So you had already straightened up and you under all that scrutiny. Like those kind of things come on. But what triggered the thought process was that a hater said something and it made me think. I didn't curse them out. I didn't do all that. And I don't even react like that. But what I did was take what they were saying into consideration and then make my own decisions. That's what I be trying to tell y'all about the thing that we do over here. Take what we're saying into consideration. Put it in your rucksack and march on. Maybe you will learn something. Like AC done it plenty of times. We be having light sparring, especially when it comes, like me being a Tank dude, him liking Devin. We done sparred and AC done said some shit. Was like, well, nope, listen, I'm gonna say this. And I'm like, okay, cool. And that's why we could talk. He can have a different stance on a fighter. I can have a different stance on the fighter. It's never gonna get ugly or disrespectful or too animated because why? We know how to talk about the shit and still stand on opposite ends. That's what the conversation is about. Because I be trying to say, listen, don't let us smoke each other before these fighters even fight. We be done I be done pulled up on your location because you done put your GPS out there and said something crazy, and I smoke you or you smoke me, and these motherfuckers never fight. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's really about, man. That's the real, and that's what's gonna preserve boxing conversation, because we get you through until the next big fight and keep, the conversation going, so we stay inspired to the next fight.
Yeah, definitely. And at the end of the day, man, I'm the type of person that loves a good debate. This is the way me and my friends grew up. We were in heavy debates. If you were a 90s kid or early, it was always who's the best basketball team, who's the GOAT of basketball, who's the best boxer, who's the best MC. You know what I'm saying? What region got the hottest music? You would even debate on what was the better car, tires and shit like that. Anything you can debate on, we debated on. You know what I'm saying? What was growing up? Who had the best weeds? Where was the best weed at? Where could you go between Hempstead and someplace else in Long Island or Brooklyn? You know what I'm saying? So it was all of that. So you learn how to debate and make it entertaining. You learn how to debate and keep things polite. It's when people become disrespectful, that's when things get turned up, because it brings you back to those moments to where you're supposed to be in a debate with one of your homies, but your homie has now some underlying beef with you, or dude that you thought was your homie has an underlying beef with you because he found out you smashed a girl that he really liked. Now he don't like you no more, or whatever the case may be. And then y'all have a little debate and you think it's light sparring, and then it escalates into something else. So life teaches you to kind of like, when you first meet somebody and you're in these debates, you have that touchy moments to where it can get volatile right here, but I'm looking to see if you start to say the right words, and we can start to de-escalate it and things like that. Can you give me at least one point? I can give you a point, and it seems as though I'm saying. And that's where sometimes the things get a little weird, because then it's nah, but I'm saying you don't understand. How do I not understand when I just gave you a solid point that you just said that I cannot deny, and I'm on the opposing side of you, so I do understand. I don't think you have the capacity to understand both sides, because every situation, it's more than one side to the story. It's the facts you cannot dispute.
Mm-hmm.
So perceptions and where were you at time and place and where you were standing in your personal view and everything, that shit is always up for debate. Always. We both watched the same fight that came on the same night at the same time. When the first bell went ding ding to start the fight, we synchronized our watch, and it happened exactly at the same time. The fight is called a draw. How do we settle what it was? Well, I kind of had this dude slightly ahead because he did that. I don't know. I seen it the opposite way, because when he was doing X, Y, and Z, I thought that was the type of stuff that was leading. And plus there was those swing rounds. So it was, those are the fun debates. And then when you and your peoples can get out there, just like I'm down for the thing that Malazar had sent. I read the email and everything. Those type of conversations and stuff like that, I feel at times I'm built for. Those are the things that what some people don't realize is it keeps the mind sharp. So there's certain ways you can keep the mind sharp and keep your wits about you, and your auditory skills at a high level. So this way, when you do go into enemy territory, you can be there and still handle it. Just like Oshaki did when he went into enemy territory and he just spoke his truth about how he feels about Shakur, and he was attacked you know, and things like that. So that comes from I'd say that comes from those type of debates. You know what I'm saying? And just having that even mind to just say, you know what? One of two things. A broken clock is a broken clock is right twice a day, and everyone has an opinion. If you can understand those two things, you have no problems with talking to anybody as long as they stay respectful.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
I agree with that, man. Good cook as always, man. Some real stuff there, man. It's the way things are going, I'm thinking about what Aaron Jones is talking about. I'm like, yeah, the stuff like, you know, Richardson Hitchens did an interview. This is how I'm gonna land. Richardson Hitchens did an interview not too long ago, and they asked him about something. He said, nah, he said, y'all not gonna get me on that. You know, he's like, last time Shakur performed, I spoke my mind and it caused friction. And I had to sit back and think about it as a friend. It's like, would I want somebody to say something like that? Then he said, so I probably should have just held that close to the vest and not said anything. And I remember the interview that he said, the dude did not say anything wrong. He just said based on that performance, he said, I could see why. Now, you got to mind you, it was him, Adrian Broner, and Tank dancing in the parking lots. And Adrian Broner had him and Tank under their wing before they first blew up. And then he talked about when Tank finally blew up and AB was out of the picture, and it was just him and Tank. So he got that experience, but then he got the experience with Shakur. All he said was that he could see how Tank could see that performance and be like, yeah, I see ways I can get him. I'm like, if you can't say that, there's an unwritten rule that you cannot be real out here. This is why I know when you hear people that they sit up here, they will roast the shit out of your favorite boxer all day, every day. They will not even confirm or deny, even if it's somebody like me. I don't want to be messy. They won't even acknowledge the question if it's too truthful. It's like, okay, well, why your man re-sign up with that promoter? He gave us all these foreign fighters. He's like on a Euro tour. Like y'all didn't see what happened with Andre. That's disrespectful. So there, like when I hear certain people voicing their opinions and saying certain things, like what Aaron Jones is saying in the comments about somebody saying that Ray Ford wrecked Nick Ball. It's like you know that you're on payroll. It's cool. Now that we know you on payroll, but like we gotta understand, but you can't be real. If these boxers can't even give a real opinion as boxers, it's like they gotta tread lightly and they gotta like be all in agreement, because like the bigger this best friend network that Shakur got going on with Bud and Clarissa and Ward and Bradley and now Roy Jones and like all these guys that somehow are affiliated under the wing, Ray Ford, like the bigger this network get, the more faker the conversation is gonna be. To where we're not even gonna have to do the keys of victory. We're gonna be robbed of actually doing the keys of victory. People say, how you gonna say that on the front foot he gonna punch him in the face? Like, what you mean? He don't get punched in the face. Like, it's about to get crazy because this network is extending, y'all, and everybody's being fake. If you make a selection on a fight, it's a 50-50 shot that somebody gonna win. If you pick somebody wrong, you picked them wrong. You can come out and eat crow and move on to the next fight. Why? Because the more you eat crow, shit, the better the fight was. That means somebody that you absolutely didn't think was gonna be able to do something did something. So you win. You can't even do that. Like you can't even you people don't eat crow. People like they get a one pick right. They celebrate that shit. They got anniversaries for having that pick right and doing, annual celebrations and haters balls based around it 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 years later. And they Hall of Famers, the ones that they talking about. So we just gonna keep it real. We're gonna keep it all the way funky, man. We always gonna continue to have these cooks, and we're gonna try to keep everything relevant to what's going on. Salute to the Heartbreaker. He broke a lot of hearts. It was crazy what they tried to do to that man after the fight. They was throwing shit at him and all that. Like, come on, y'all. Y'all gonna make it to where people ain't gonna want to come over there, man. Y'all do that because you could hear a pin drop after he knocked him out, man. But he went in there. He went in the enemy territory. Even when they gave him the mic, he said, "You know what? I apologize, y'all. Like, listen, man. I love you guys, man. We would just celebrate. No offense. Like, we hope Nick Ball is good." So he was he explained himself, articulated himself very well, and they got up out of there. But he did the unthinkable. So 126 is on fire. I'm gonna drop it like that, man. Salute to the Heartbreaker for breaking another heart, and much love to Nick Ball for actually affording the opportunity, man. I don't like the fact you didn't get that interview, but like positive vibes on bouncing back, man. You still can fight, live to fight another day. How you want to land, AC?
Yeah, same here as far as Nick Ball. A little disappointed that we didn't get to hear from him and stuff like that. But I'm still a fan of Nick Ball. I think he can definitely come back and make some things happen. I like his boxing style and stuff like that. So outside of that, I just appreciate a place to come and actually have a boxing conversation, to whereas the people in the audience appreciate it. They appreciate the information that's brought to the situation. They appreciate that there's a real effort to research. So there is some elements of boxing or barbershop boxing talking and things like that, where we're just kind of shooting at the hip on things that are kind of very premature. You know what I'm saying? It's just, all right, at this point, this is all speculation because things are really, really premature. But it's always followed by, we just have to let time go by and see what happens. But it's always that effort to address it, recognize it, speak on it as intelligent as possible at that time, and have the speculation be grounded in some facts, not in things that are lit, but just some solid foundation, and then see how it goes. It may mature and blossom and be like, yo, we've been on this for a minute and look at how this shit is turning out. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to have that type of space and not always be talking about the normal things and stuff like that, or be caught up in, oh, I don't like this channel, I don't like this dude, and right now we in the beef, and half a show or a whole show is dedicated to YouTube street beef. So it's like, yeah, we can keep it boxing. I don't need to talk about a lot of other things that I'm not following like that. You know what I'm saying? So if there's a place that I can just talk boxing, I'm gonna go to that place and talk boxing. But there's some great fights and stuff like that out there, and every perspective has some merit. So at the end of the day, that's where I landed. Big shout outs to Figueroa. You pulled it off in the final minutes. He opened up a little bit too much for you, and you just saw it and let that shot fly, and it flattened him, and then you put him through the ropes. So at the end of the day, great performance, great fight. I can see where many people had it 50-50, and it was just like, oh wow. So again, 2026 is starting off to be a great year with boxing, and like me and Body's been making this observation, could 2026 be the year of the choke? So we just got to see. There's some more fights, and we see a lot of people talking, but let's see how these guys show up. So Yeah, it's already starting to be a great year of boxing, and I'm looking forward to the fights in a couple of weeks. Um, to see if there are any upsets in that one. If I'm gonna hear any in the new, because that seems to be the theme so far in the new. So yeah, great show, body. On to the next one, and hope everybody enjoyed this show.
I appreciate you, AC, man. Enjoy your evening, man. Till the next time, brother.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, peace. Yeah, I got my email out there for anybody, man, for any reason, whatever time. And if you ever want me to send you a link, so at the beginning you can be in the back waiting, or or you got an idea or whatever. That's my email. So hit me up. I respond. Mailers man, hit me up. That's how I send out the link, so that before I put the link out on the main thing, that's how people be in the back, because I send them a link. You know what I'm saying? If they're available, then cool, you can hop on. If not, or if you got an idea, or if you want to, put me on to something, you could send it to my Gmail. I give credit to my fan. Just like today's episode was sponsored by Johnny Allison, because he said he wanted to cook on Figueroa. So I was like, well, shoot, I ain't really doing nothing. I was just chilling. I said, shoot, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why tonight's episode was inspired, man. Like Aaron Jones said, lead foot and the jab is the new style to beat in 2026. Hey, if you let the right people tell it, man, that's how they playing it right now. I'm like, man, hey, let him believe that. Yeah, that's all you need. That's all you need. You come in, you run into one of my guys, one of these guys that I really be checking for, that shit, it's gonna be bad. You know what I'm saying? All the way bad, but 26, the 26th division is hot enough for me to go ahead and actually have them in the mix. You know what I'm saying? I update these, as they come and as things happen. We got a big one coming up, man, with, somebody getting stopped. You know what I'm saying? Most dangerous. Is this guy the most dangerous there? We got a whole lot of this. We got a whole lot. I did a rant episode last night that you got to go back and listen to, man. I wanted it not to be so structured, so I just kind of like ranted and got some things off my chest. But it's 1,000 more examples. But recency bias is here. We all fall victim to it to a certain extent. I'm like, let some time go by, let some things settle out. Just like with Josh Kelly beating Bachman. Some people still don't respect him. Some people like, oh, that was impressive. It just let some time go by and we'll see who's the world beater, who's the next star. Let's stop trying to fabricate it. I always tell y'all, he who controls the printed page controls the thinking of this age, meaning that people who run the media and the press and, give these directives, like to say, oh yeah, say he fumbled the bag, and everybody, oh yeah, he fumbled the bag, he fumbled the bag, he fumbled the bag. Like, that's just like, come on. He who controls the printed page controls the thinking of this age. So if everybody is saying this and you in agreement, do you ever challenge it? That's what we do over here when we drop them fruits and veggies, not that Reggie, that fact-based content, not opinion-based, but we have plenty of them. We just try to justify it in fact. Silence is consent, which means that all it takes for evil to prevail is for men and women to remain silent. So we speak to the things that need to be spoken. We give credit where it's due. We eat crow when it's due. We make our picks. We don't toe the line. Like, we don't straddle the fence. Like, we know how to stay on one side. You going through something as a boxer, we ain't just going to turn our back. It's your character. It's the thing that you're saying and doing that's going to make us be like, nah, I'm off. When they go ding, 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 I'm a fan. But outside of that, I'm not an only fan. I'm not putting on no knee pads, no throat coat. I'm not displaying no tonsil jewelry. I don't have my reach around extenders. I'm not kissing the ring of no nipple ring. I'm not getting under no turkey wing. No. American boxing is my priority. I wanted to be, here and be thriving while it's still here. I don't want no WWE, no WWF. I don't like scripts. I don't need all this extra drama. Let's match up some 50-50 fights and let the drama be what's going on with the gloves or natural organic beef. I don't need a storyline all the time. I just want two people that feel like predators to get in the ring and tell the ref, get the fuck out my way. That's all I want to see. Anyways, man, I appreciate everybody who take time to listen to the playback, talk to me, holler at me, I'll talk back. Feel free to support the channel. We are monetized. It is a little discouraging seeing people get paid for things that were said here first, but I know that's a way of life for some people. I'm just saying, hey, support the little guys, you know, who always keep it raw and funky with you. Ain't gonna never lead you by the nose or lead you astray. We're just gonna give you some shit to think about as you watch this boxing talk in between these big fights. And we're gonna talk about everything. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, bro? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.